Hi, my name is Sarah Barnes, and I am a senior marketing major at the University of Lynchburg. I also have a double minor in electronic media and graphic design, and I was on the varsity soccer team all 4 years of college, as well as working a part time job as a student media team member at the university's communication and marketing department. I will be graduating this May, and I am actively seeking employment as an entry level marketing and graphic design professional. I consider myself to be a problem solver who builds awareness for companies by strengthening their brand through brainstorming, creating, and designing innovative solutions to meet their specific needs. First, I would like to discuss my brand. At the beginning of the semester, we discussed what we wanted our brand to be on social media. I had to consider how I currently portray myself on social media and how I want to portray myself professionally. As a graduating senior, I am constantly thinking about the image I am portraying to future employers. In the past, I had had a private Twitter account and a public portfolio. However, both were not incredibly active, nor did either of them portray my brand. Because of this, I decided to create a new Twitter account where I could work on building my new brand. Here, I tweeted news articles that caught my attention, articles I had personally written for my Convergence Media class, as well as retweeting other things that I saw on Twitter that made me smile. Overall, I focused on promoting positivity. With everything going on in our world with the COVID-19 pandemic, it is easy to be weighed down by the overwhelming posts on social media. I try to do my part in spreading positivity using the hashtag #GoodNews2020. I wanted my Twitter account to be associated with good news that was relevant to my audience, and I think I was fairly successful in doing just that. Now, to summarize my Twitter engagement. I created my new Twitter account at Sarah Barnes U of L midway through January. Since then, I have tweeted an average of 3 times per day. I have gained 24 followers and I follow 85 accounts. On my Twitter profile, I have linked my Redbubble page. Redbubble is an awesome e-commerce website where graphic designers and artists can upload their designs and sell them on products such as t-shirts, mugs, stickers, and more. Not only was my Redbubble profile linked on my Twitter profile, an average of once per week, I also tweeted photos of my designs and links to my Redbubble profile. To do this, I utilized Hootsuite. Hootsuite allowed me to schedule Twitter posts. Looking back at the week of March 1st, I scheduled 2 holiday-specific posts, one for Dr. Seuss's birthday and one for National Oreo Day. I scheduled these posts to go live on those specific holidays. I also promoted my Redbubble account several times that week. Finally, I promoted an on-campus event I was writing an article about. Hootsuite helped me continue to promote my personal brand during a time where tweeting may not have been my highest priority. For example, that week of March 1st was our week for midterm exams. I was able to schedule all of these tweets ahead of time, continue to improve my engagement, all while continuing to focus on school. Reflecting back on this past semester, I think I have done a really good job keeping up my Twitter engagement. There was a week or two around spring break where my Twitter feed was full of COVID-19 updates and I could tell that social media was taking a toll on my mental health. So I took a few days away from social media and then I made the executive decision to only post positive tweets. With so much negativity coming from every news network those first few weeks of COVID-19 cases in the United States, I felt it was my responsibility to my followers to promote and share things that made me happy. One thing I wish I could have done this semester would be promoting my new brand on an additional social media platform. I think I was incredibly successful on Twitter. However, I had a goal of becoming more active on LinkedIn, and I was not really able to achieve that goal. As someone who is currently seeking employment after graduation, I think being more active on LinkedIn could have helped me stand out to employers, especially those who were interacting with my LinkedIn page. And one final thing I believe I improved on would be my website. However, I will be discussing that a little later in this presentation. Now I'm going to walk you through each of my multimedia assignments. While I go through these, I will touch on which assignments I am most proud of, which things I would like to improve on, and some things that impeded my reporting. Each story was posted to my portfolio on my website under a section called Journalism. If you click on Journalism, it takes you to a page with 6 stories, 2 from last year in another class, and 4 from this course: my audio story, photo story, video story, and data story. Starting with my audio story, I interviewed a performer who came to campus earlier this semester. I pieced together a story using audio from our interview after his performance, as well as a snippet from during his performance, and finally an audience member's reaction after his performance. Something I would improve on about this story would be my sound quality. I was limited by the technology I had at my disposal, and although I used podcast mics during our face-to-face interviews, the audio I had from his performance was low quality and echoey due to the acoustics of the ballroom. The next story I reported on was my photography story. I went around my hometown of Cary, North Carolina in late March and photographed places I used to go that would normally be incredibly busy. This project helped me learn more about utilizing different camera techniques, such as manual focus and adjusting the color balance. Here are some of the photos I took that day. Additionally, during this project, I learned an entire new software called Adobe Lightroom. This photo editing software allowed me to easily upload the photos from my camera to my laptop, edit them, and download them and put them onto my portfolio. My next story was my video story. I interviewed 2 University of Lynchburg seniors and asked them about how their lives have changed since moving to online classes. This project allowed me to gain experience in crowdsourcing. I asked the 2 students I had interviewed to send me photos or videos of the things that we had discussed in our interviews, and I used that footage as B-roll during the interview. One thing I wish I had done differently for this story in particular would have been figuring out a better solution for the audio before I had started recording. I had screen recorded both of the interviews using QuickTime. However, the audio from QuickTime was not the highest quality. Before the interview, I had actually asked both students to start a voice memo on their phones to record their audio in case something that they said didn't come through clearly on our video call. That was a good solution for audio on their end. However, my audio that was being recorded from my laptop was not up to my standards. With that being said, I think I have found a solution that I will utilize for my final multimedia project. Finally, moving on to my data story, which is a story I am most proud of. I searched for several days trying to find data to build a story around. I stumbled upon some local data specific to North Carolina. I found a data set that showed how many COVID-19 cases there were since March 1st, which was the first day a case was reported in North Carolina. Then, I looked at how each county in North Carolina was being affected by COVID-19, and specifically where each of the 7,000 plus cases were located. Then I noticed that my county, Wake County, had the second highest number of reported cases in North Carolina. I started to consider how this could be affecting me personally, or perhaps the environment around me. After doing some research, I found some air quality data specific to Wake County. This data showed me that from March 1st, 2020 to April 21st, 2020, the air quality was better than the average of those same dates for the last 5 years. This could mean that the coronavirus, although negative on our social and economic well-being, could potentially have a positive impact on the environment. Looking back at this story, I was very proud of the work I put in and the way I shared the data. However, I was not able to interview anyone about this topic. The next time I do a data story, I will try to speak with experts on the matter or perhaps those impacted by my findings. Now that you have seen my website, I would like to show you how I improved my entire portfolio since last year. The major change in my portfolio was not in the content itself, it was actually the platform I used to publish my work. Prior to freshman year, I created an online portfolio using Adobe Behance. While this worked for what I thought I needed, I realized in this past year that I wanted a portfolio I could personalize more and that I was actually proud of. I had a practically effortless transition from Adobe Behance to Adobe Portfolio. My older projects switched over easily, and I was able to upload newer projects quicker than I could on Behance. Additionally, I created an entire section for my journalism pieces, which helps separate my artistic work from my journalistic work. One negative side of Adobe Portfolio and Adobe Behance is that the only way to see your analytics would be through a platform such as Google Analytics. However, with that being said, I have received positive feedback from potential clients and employers about my new portfolio, and I believe that it better represents not only my brand, but also the work I am most proud of. Finally, I'm going to discuss my multimedia final project. I'm reporting on what activities college students are doing while in quarantine. My current plan is to post both a video and a photo slideshow to my website. The video will include data from a survey I sent out to college students on Tuesday, April 28th. You are currently seeing me going through that survey. The interview portion of the video will be with a few students about their specific experience with the quarantine. Additionally, I am currently in the process of crowdsourcing photos from the students I have surveyed. These photos will appear not only in the video as B-roll, but also in a photo slideshow with captions that include the photographer's name, location, and description of the photo. To conclude, I believe I learned a lot about journalism and myself throughout this course. I learned how to tackle obstacles I encounter when reporting. I have found ways to best promote my personal brand on Twitter. And finally, I have gained a better understanding of media's impact on society. I look forward to taking these lessons with me into the next phase of my life and hope to utilize them in the real world. Thank you.